I struggled my whole life with feeling lovable. I thought it was something elusive that I had to work for or earn based on my childhood wounds, but I never seemed to be able to get there and always longed to feel truly loved. As a small child, I started to surround myself with hearts. I was obsessed with hearts, and I still am to this day. If it had a heart on it, I wanted it. It was like my own symbol of faith in love, of some deep belief that love did exist. And maybe I thought I would feel it if I surrounded myself with hearts. I'm not sure, but I bring this up now because it's been a bit of an awakening to me as I look around my home at all the hearts, and now my business and what my guides are leading me to is all about the heart and living a heart-centered life. I wanted to bring this up today because so many people are looking for their path, their purpose, and usually it's right in front of you, literally in my case. It's almost always something that you've been deeply passionate about your whole life, and suddenly you start to see it. Suddenly it takes shape. And for me, it's everything, because it's been my life's journey to learn about how to heal my heart, to love myself, and to believe that God has always loved me in the way that I desired to be loved, unconditionally. And now I'm using my heart to begin to manifest my dreams. It's all too perfect, really. As I looked around at all the hearts in my home this week, I laughed and thought, wow, it was always right here in front of me. My path, my purpose. I was even told by a past life healer that my life is a mission of love. We are given so many signs to help us find our purpose. It turns out mine was right in front of my face every day, my whole life. So today, we're going to talk about the heart and how it's really the center of everything. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Alchemy of Manifestation podcast. I'm Jen Tammy at the Wheelhouse Project, and we are going to talk about how that sweet heart of yours is going to help you create the life of your dreams. I was recently told by my guides in a reading with my spiritual advisor that I needed to have some sort of a vision statement or really an overall intention about my business. They actually gave me the first part of it by outlining that because I'm always relaying to you what my guides download to me, the communications I'm sending out are all, quote, enlightened. Or really, they're bringing spiritual awareness to you in some way through all the messages that I'm delivering. Well, I have to admit that sounded a bit too big and even inflated to even make that statement. I mean, I'm not God or anything, but really the truth is when we allow ourselves to be in alignment and in the flow of the divine, allowing that guidance and those messages to come through, we become a conduit, a channel, if you will. We do bring through enlightened communications. We do it all the time. We don't always realize it's what we're doing, though, because let's face it, it's the only way God can really bring through information to us sometimes. Many do it innocently, and some do it very intentionally, which is what I'm doing. I get it, I see it, and I've been shown that this is what I'm doing. So I gave it to my guides and added it to my new vision statement. But there was a bigger piece that I needed to add to this vision statement. And while it may have been divinely inspired, I feel it also came from me. Let me read it to you, and then we can talk about it. So my vision, or really my intention around my business, is this. I am here to have enlightened communications to help raise the consciousness of others and to awaken them to the divinity and the alchemy of the love within their own hearts. The part of the statement I added was heart-centered. It is based on everything my guides are teaching me about our lives and about manifestation, that it is all based around the heart. Really, the heart is our compass, our magnet, our guide through life. As I've talked about before, we need to unearth it from the wounds, the pain, the hurt, the old beliefs and old programming that all causes it to close up and shut down in terms of, allowing it to guide us. Most people are walking around in some form of a heartbroken state, whether that's childhood pain, relationship pain, or just broken down by a challenging life path. That's when we're no longer living in a heart-centered way, or we just can't open ourselves to it because we're fearful and in pain. But I digress. I want to go a bit higher with this. We'll get to the healing part a bit more, but let's take it from a higher perspective for a minute, just because that's what I'm being delivered by my guides right now. So it's become very clear to me lately that the heart is at the center of everything. And I do mean everything. Essentially, God is the heart of the universe. And that part of God that we carry around in all of our bodies is our hearts. It is God. Bear with me on this if this sounds a bit wacky to you, because for me, there were epiphanies here. Our hearts, while being an organ, are also a major energy center in our bodies. I'm sure you've heard of the heart chakra. It's the central chakra in our body. That is the energy of the heart center. And what I'm speaking about when I talk about the heart, not the literal organ, though it is connected, that is where universal love is. So our connection to the universal heart, and it's your connection to the cosmos, your connection to God. It is the energy of God and God's love. And that oneness that you've heard people talk about, that's what connects us all. So God, the universe, all of us are one heart, one main energy of love that is the energy that is in all of us. It's our life force energy. It's what sustains us and allows us to thrive when our hearts are fully open and directing our lives. There are ways, though, that we need to align with that love within our own heart and allow it to take the wheel in our lives, to allow our hearts to lead. So doing these things that I'm going to list off are essential to manifesting your best life. These are 4 heart-centered steps to manifestation. So the first step is to actively work to heal and open your heart through healing or inner child work, which is also heart healing work. So when the heart chakra is open and healthy, you will feel love, compassion, gratefulness, harmony, joy. That's the place you'll kind of live from. So, and when it's closed down, you'll experience issues around what closed it down. So perhaps jealousy, fear, anger, insecurities, withdrawal, sadness, unworthiness, unlovability, and so many other things. There's a multitude of ways, though, to heal your heart, but it is an essential step in the process and always requires a proactive approach on your part. The second step is opening ourselves to God's love within us, as I was discussing. It's all about opening to our own spirituality, but more than that, it's about realizing you have always been unconditionally loved and believing that. It's about feeling that love that is ever present in your life and supporting you every step of your journey. It's also about having faith that even in those moments you aren't feeling it, that it's there and it will never let you down. The third step is tapping into the love within your own heart, or God's love within your own heart, and using it to love yourself unconditionally as God loves you. I know that sounds like a stretch, and I know it sounds unachievable. And as humans, well, it really is. But you can get darn close to achieving it. Self-acceptance, it can happen. I know we all have that ego mind that drags us through the dirt every chance it gets. But the more that we can stay in our hearts, the closer to true self-love you will be. It's really about loving ourselves in a more kind, compassionate, and gentle way. And that leads me to step 4. So in step 4, we begin to co-create with God through our hearts. Really, your heart is the magnet. But do you understand why? Our hearts are God, as we talked about. And when we are aligned with God, we are creating at that level. We can bring about miracles in our lives. If we are aligned on something in a completely heart-centered way with true love and passion, with an open and healed heart, then we can create it. If it's about ego, fear, obsession, or anything other than authentic heart-centered love or passion for something, it will definitely be harder to create, at least in a way that's genuine and sustainable. The same goes for a closed and wounded heart. But know that with a heart that is open and filled with love, anything that is desired with the heart, along with alignment of the other steps, can be created in your life. So let me circle back for a minute to my vision statement where I talked about helping people to awaken to the divinity and the alchemy of the love within their own hearts. Let's take what I said a step further here to explain this. So the divinity within your own heart is obviously God, or the universal energy of love that you can tap into with your healing, your faith, and your self-love. But the alchemy of the heart is how, when you've reached a certain point with the other steps in the process to bring yourself to a point of healing yourself, loving yourself, and having strong faith and belief in God, then you can start to co-create with God. That's when you begin to turn love and passion into abundance. When your heart magnet is at full strength and you begin the magical process of creation or co-creation with God. It's been such a huge epiphany for me on this, as I've tapped into the love in my own heart when viewing my vision boards as I work on manifestation. I hear whispered in my ear that the love I'm feeling is God's love. I just don't think that people are aware of the power of their own hearts. As I've become aware that it is essentially God's love and has the same ability to create. So if it's that easy, I guess, why weren't we creating bigger things with our hearts right from childhood? Well, because it's not that easy, really. Our childhoods and sometimes much of our lives are meant to be challenging. We came to overcome the challenges. That's part of our journey. And to be honest, we each designed our own life plan, so you only have yourself to blame. Seriously, I told a friend the other day when he was complaining about his parents that he actually had chosen them, and he yelled, "No, I didn't." And I said, "Yes, you did." And he didn't find it very funny, but he did though. So did you. Honestly, I found this to be one of the most helpful bits of information on my healing journey. I chose this path. I chose these people. It was all meant to be the challenges that it was, and I've come to overcome it all just as I set out to do. So, or as one of my healers very appropriately put it, thanks to my parents for effing me up just as I asked you to. But to recognize this is awesome, and it will take you out of victim mode. It's one of the best ways to rise above it and also to be able to forgive it all. We all came for certain experiences in this lifetime, mostly to clear old karmas. But if we can do that and find our way back to our healed and open hearts again, we have not only checked off everything on our to-do list for our soul, but we can get to live the dreams that we came here to live, the passions and the life purpose, because we did also come to do great things and to experience great love and joy in this lifetime. It's really when people get stuck in victim mode or locked into that state of suffering or belief in their unworthiness that it's just hard to get out of. It's hard to find their way to even beginning the healing process, or for that matter, even spiritually finding that bigger picture that I just stated. That really, they're just going through lifetime after lifetime with the same soul family, all teaching each other lessons and working through our karma and soul growth. If you can find your way to the bigger perspective on it, it all makes so much more sense. That God is never punishing you, ever. God loves you completely and unconditionally. You are the one who designed your own journey, growth, and lessons. And you are the one who gets to take all that baggage to the next lifetime if you don't work through it now, to heal it and find your way back to the love within your own heart. Speaking of which, I was recently reading a book about death by Echo Bodine, who is a medium. And at one point in her life, she was a midwife. And she said that before she helped deliver each baby, the soul who would enter the body would show up in the room. She said she would usually see them standing off to the side waiting, and that sometimes it was shocking to see how much baggage they had with them. She would see it as actual baggage that she saw with them and was told by her guides it was the things that they didn't resolve in their last life. Wow. So circling back here, this is one of the reasons I'm teaching you everything I am, among other reasons. Because really, do you want to come back and learn all these lessons all over again with a new set of parents in similar circumstances? I don't think so. At least I don't. Mind you, it's taken a large chunk of my life to reach step 4 and to have really healed and unearth all this love in my heart and starting to co-create with God in bigger ways. But it was so worth the journey. And I am so thrilled to be where I am and so happy that I get to really enjoy the rest of my life in a healthy, happy, joyful, and loving way. And that I feel loved and lovable in my self-love and in God's love. And of course, that I'm focused now on what's next, everything that I want to co-create with God in my life. This is where I hope to take you to, or to inspire you to get to on your journey, to the point of opening up and aligning yourself with God's love within you, in your heart, the point of co-creating the life you have dreamed of, It's not only possible, it's what you're meant to do. Isn't it time you take those first steps? Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I'm Jen Tammy, and I am here to have enlightened communications to help raise the consciousness of others and to awaken them to the divinity and the alchemy of the love within their own hearts. I'm thrilled that you too are awakening to your heart-centered journey. Please subscribe to the podcast and check out all of our other resources, videos, blogs, and more at thewheelhouseproject.com. Remember to sign up for our email list while you're there. And also check us out at The Wheelhouse Project on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.